I'm Fara Sachs, and this is the Community Voice. Today we welcome Luzia Costa. She is the certified health coach and co founder of Essence for Wellness, which is located in Coral Gables, South Miami border. And I'm so glad she's here because she's going to tell us everything about wellness and health and how she went from corporate America to becoming a certified health coach. It's a wonderful journey, and I am so happy you are joining me here today. Thank you so much for taking the time out from your busy schedule, and you have, I know, a lot of things going on at the center. So thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank for having me here today. It is a pleasure, to be at this moment here talking to all of you.
And it is such an interesting, I always like to find out, and it's very interesting to me how people journey from where they were, like in life when you grow up and you go, I want to be, and you somehow you either get there or your path goes another way. And yours is from corporate America to
Yeah.
a functional medicine center that you and your husband, Ed, who was with me a couple of weeks ago, and he was a delight as well. So shout out to Ed. But your journey and tell me a little bit how you went from where you were to where you are now, and from Indiana, and it's an amazing story.
Yes, it is a journey, and it's an awesome, beautiful journey. I worked for institutional financial company, and I worked for a while. During that time, you're busy. I love what I did, and we've been very busy with work. And as time progressed, and you come home after work, right? You have a big family to care for.
Mhm.
And so that constantly being in that mode of business of life, you forget about yourself. So you care for the company, you learn and you study to become a better professional. And then as times build, that's when life gives you a wake up call. And at one point, I had a very hard time focusing at work. It was very difficult for me to remember things, and sometimes I'm very forgetful. And the chaos of life took a little toll on my health. That was when I talked to my husband at one point, and I was
Ed.
mentioned to him, Ed. Yeah, he's
Ed.
the nurse practitioner at Essence for Wellness. And I say, I have to do something different. And that's when I decided to quit the financial institution that I work for and went and became a certified health coach.
So what was going on during that time? Were you having stress? Were you having depression? Were you having weight gain? What was going on in your body that you realized that I can't do this anymore? I can't keep up this pace.
Yeah, like I was mentioning, in addition to have, I was diagnosed with ADD. And so when you diagnosed with ADD, like they give you a pill, it's like a pill for ill. So that will
Say that again.
is a pill for ill, right? A pill for
I
ill.
love that.
And so it just kind of take care of your symptoms. And literally the medication helped me to focus. I focused, I worked, and I was like doing that all the time. And when you take that, what happened with your system? Automatically, I had to take medication for high blood pressure and mess up my, start messing up with my body. And then you go from one medication to the second medication. And then because I was on the ADD medication, you can't sleep. So what happened? You take a medication to sleep.
So it's like a domino effect of you're curing one, but you're increasing something else is coming.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So as you do that, you wake up in the morning tired because you took the medication to sleep. I didn't sleep. I didn't have a good sleep, anyways, with that medication. And then you take a medication to kind of put you together so you can function. You be alert. And the next thing, it's one thing goes after the other. My thyroid started to react. I also was on a thyroid medication. I was taking any of medication before because the stress also, plays a toll in your health. And so it got to one point that I was looking at my life, where am I going from here? When I look at, where I was heading, and of course my hormones imbalance and everything else, because it's a major stress, it is just kind of piling up symptoms that I was actually treating at
How
that
many years ago
time.
was that?
That was 5 years ago.
Oh, so this wake up call or this aha moment was about 5 years ago.
Y- well, that's when I decided. Yeah, I quit.
Corporate America.
Corporate America.
Mhm.
And then I just took time from me. If it's not just for to help somebody, I became a certified coach to help myself, to see what I can do to myself, and then be able to, if I was going to take it somewhere, beautiful. If not, I just wanted to make a difference in my life to start with. And this is exactly what happened. I talked to Ed, which is my husband, which is my partner at our business, and I decided to just take one step at a time. And throughout the health coach course that I did, I also, with his help, I also changed what I was eating. I totally cleaned up of several, my diet also became totally different, not only for myself and for him too, which addressed both of us, our symptoms. And with that, with time, I was able to get off of the ADD medication, and my brain was just working absolutely fine with no problem of remembering, putting things together. I was at one time reading the book and I could remember what the story was about the book.
That happens to me all the time.
I
The next thing I know, I'm asleep.
know the story was amazing, but then I go, I want to talk about this book. I go, oh my gosh, I can't. I don't remember. It was this bad. And so when I started to take charge and educate myself, um, that's when I started noticing one thing after the other.
So what is it? It was nutrition.
It was nutrition, and there is like it's a pillar to take care of a human being.
Yeah,
right.
You made mention of that. You're saying that there are 5 principles.
Yes. So the principles, you needed to is what is in your environment, your spirituality. You need to take care whatever that may be for you, right? It's nutrition. It's your emotion you need to take care, and also physical. So it's like one step at a time you take. Of course, you're not going to go through that journey and conquer everything at once. It's repetition and understand how that helps you. And when you take 1% of the step forward, you understand the benefit. So that benefit makes you continue to take another step. And the consequence of me working on each one of them, I learned how to meditate. I to this day I meditate every day, even if I sit down in silence. That for me fulfills my soul, just to sit there and give myself that moment. So, those 5 pillars is definitely what makes a big difference in one's life.
So as a coach, as a certified health coach, which do you start with? Which of the 5 principles? Because we can't, as coming to Essence for Wellness, we can't do it all
Right.
at once. Because how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? Hopefully with good nutrition. But
Yes.
how does it begin for you if I would come into and be your patient at the center?
Typically, we understand first what is the person's goal, right? We really have to be a solid goal. And one of the solid goal typically is work on your health, not, weight loss it is a goal, but it's not a sustainable goal, because once you reach that goal, you go, where do I go? Where do I go from here? But if your goal is your health, your mental health, or whatever it is, it's sustaining you more for life. And so to understand your motivating factors of the reason for the journey, right? And after that, we understand to recognize what works, that life is big gratitude. What works well, what is going well for you every day.
So do you encourage journaling?
I do gratitude
Yeah.
journal.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Gratitude journal made a big difference in my life.
So when you wake up in the morning, I mean, I guess everybody has their time when they're ready to participate in this. Sometimes it's at night, or sometimes during the day, or in the morning, first thing in the morning. So you get up and you have a book that's set aside for your gratitude journal. Really,
Yes,
literally.
yes, literally. This is
Mhm.
exactly what it is. I do mine most of the time at night, because I do in the morning also, and at night I do my meditation and whatever. I sit down in there and I write or I read a little bit, but I do my gratitude journal at night because I look everything that went through my day,
Mhm.
and I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for. You can write one or two or three. There's 3 things, even though if you don't see anything, just for the fact that you're breathing, that you take the deep breath, because sometimes you cannot even take a deep breath,
Mhm.
right? It's hard to breathe, but because you can take a deep breath, it can make a big difference. And the fact that you recognize those, that you're grateful for these things, something magical happens, that every day you start looking life different,
Mhm.
and you find that you start feeling, making that page add more stuff, add more things that you're grateful for. And so I literally encourage my clients to do that. And another thing too that we work is like understand what food gives you energy and what food take away your energy.
So, yeah, you write something really interesting. You said one person's food can be another person's poison.
Yes, that is absolutely true, because there are several healthy foods out there, right? But perhaps for one person, if they eat, let's say, cauliflower, it might
I
be a
was just thinking of
disaster.
cauliflower. That was funny. We're on the same page.
Yeah, the same page here. But if you eat a cauliflower, it might really upset your stomach. It really gives you a bloated, your belly, and you feel sick. So we have to understand what are the foods that contribute with you to make you a healthy person, to make you feel good, not a healthy person, because being healthy, it's a process. But what makes you feel good? It makes you, they'll make you feel bloated, that you feel energized. So we if I'm doing just a health coach itself, because I also, as a health coach, there's several things that you can do. But if someone comes to me direct, this is one of the things. What are the foods that works for you? Because it can be a poison to you. Cauliflower, kale, it could be different. So understand all of that. And once we understand that, we see what that, eat the right things and see how that will make a difference in
So
your health.
there's gut health. There's a lot about the
Yes.
gut health, and let's talk about that a little bit.
um and everything starts in your gut, and that's
So there's
because
good and bad
there's good
bacteria.
and bad bacteria, and you have to feed both the good and bad bacteria, to be able to balance those bacteria. And one of the thing is, if you when you fix your gut, typically you're healing the intestine, the walls of the intestine, so the toxicity won't go through your vessels, your blood cells. That's why we feel sick. That's why we get an inflammation. So everything starts here.
So when you're coaching someone, walk me through that. So do you do blood work, and then you go into what's wrong with you? You know, the general questions, and just walk us through the pattern so that our audience that are might be suffering right now can reach out to you at Essence for Wellness.
Um, well, when they come to us, the someone, the patient will get together with Ed. They'll fill up a form, and we understand exactly what is the symptoms, what is the major cause for them to come to us. So he'll ask. Typically, we don't ask a lot of. He doesn't ask for a lot of blood work, but just those that will typically address the major symptoms, because when you take care of the major symptom, typically all the other symptoms takes care of itself when you remove the most big one.
So the body really knows what to do to
Exactly,
get back into a state of
exactly.
wellness and health.
Because you're removing, the toxicity, or that food, or that the environment, also toxicity, and you start to get to your baseline. And so, and then add review everything, all the lab work with them, and I get the results of your food sensitivity. And of course, you have to eliminate some of the food that was there, and that's when I get together with you and kind of made a map, lay out a plan. So I will guide you through the foods that there are foods that you need to remove for 3 months, some foods that you need to remove because that's dependent on the intensity of
Reaction
the
or
reaction that you have.
mhm.
So you have 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months, depends on whatever your results may be. And I guide you with the food that you can eat. So we focus on the things that can be done. What you don't have to worry about, the foods that's not good for you, let's not focus on that. So we focus on the food that you can eat. And then with that, I guide you with recipes. I guide you with where to buy or how to see, or if, some people, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have, how can I substitute these things? How can I eat, because food's also very emotional for people to
Oh,
remove.
absolutely. There's comfort
It's a
foods.
comfort foods.
I can,
Yes.
like a big Costco bag of popcorn just does me well. But
Exactly.
afterwards, I feel, as you say in what we talk about is foggy brain.
Yes,
How
absolutely.
foods can
Have
just
food.
make you feel fatigued and just ill, and your stomach, and you're not feeling good.
Absolutely right. So when you learn that you can still eat very tasty food that will nourish your body, you will, feel satiated. It's just it makes you look everything different. It makes possible the journey for you.
So it's really not saying, no, I can't eat this because it has this amount of calories. It's basically knowing where you feel good when you're eating and how you
Absolutely.
feel afterwards. Like for me, I've tried keto. I'm really, I don't do meat very well. My stomach, my intestine, I feel horrible. So that's my poison. But very interesting to know what your body needs and what you really feel good while you're eating. So I think that's really an important, because we're not listening. We're not listening to the cues of what we need and how much we really need to eat.
And that's for sure. And also I'm not counting calorie. I'm not telling you to eat this amount or that amount or restriction. We're just removing what is not good for you, remove what is cause inflammation. The person will be basic on food that will remove the inflammation from your body. And because you typically you're not going to eat a lot, because the food that you're going to eat will nourish you. You feel less hunger.
So you feel satiated.
Exactly. You feel, it's like there's no need for a snack. I don't snack anymore.
Yeah, you did tell me that. I was like, when you first told me that, I'm going, how do you do that?
I don't, because it's just, my body now has the right nutrient. I already, organized, and I said, and with that process, I lost 75 pounds.
God bless you.
And that was not me trying to lose weight. I was trying to get rid of the medications that I was taking. I was trying to feel better. I was trying not to become like family members that we see where they're going with their health as they age. So it's really, the goal for me was to be healthier.
So with your clients, do you like supplements? Do you like vitamins? What's your take on that? Probiotics, prebiotics, the gut health, and shakes. I know we talked about doing a cleanse, different kinds of cleanses that you offer. Let's talk about all that.
Yes.
I know I took you on a lot of different journeys on that one. Take what you want from it and leave the rest on the table.
No
really,
problem.
We don't have to eat everything today.
Ed is the one definitely that he will look into the supplements, because you do need, in the beginning, you may take a little bit more supplements than, an average person that took care of their health. Depends on how much supplement you need. He may even, mention that to take an IV so that you boost the amount of a nutrient that you need, and then you slow down on the amount of supplement that you take orally.
So one of the things that you offer is an area. It's a very cozy area in Coral Gables. Essence for Wellness is a wonderfully relaxed there. It feels like home. And there's an area there with a nice TV and great music and the great comfortable chairs. And then you have like an IV.
An IV
that is
therapy,
catered
yes.
one to that particular person. And tell us about that.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. We do, we have IV already planned. They have a name. The very well known that people know the Maya's cocktail and several others. And ours have a lot of good nutrient. And so, but we also supplement accordingly to the person's need. You may be needing a dose of additional, I don't know, vitamin C or B12 or whatever. So that will be specific to you, catered just specific to your need.
So you can be like, you can have it in your IV for whatever your needs are.
For whatever your needs are. We have a menu done. Of course, everything is done at that time, but depends on the treatment you might need something specific, and it can be advised to you to take that. And so and I'm sorry, I just sidetracked you.
No, that's okay. No, Ed and you really work together in tandem. So how long does it take for someone that might be feeling, maybe a woman that has low estrogen or men that are having problem with testosterone, how long does it take to feel better and to really get on with your life, working with you and with Ed on these two very interesting different modalities for your functional medicine location?
Just I'm going to give a scenario from one of my clients. So she works also in corporate America, and
poor girl, she's going to come work for you afterwards if this is the trend.
And she had her legs was very, very, it's a chronic thing for her. For many, many years, her legs from knee down was very swollen.
So
big
inflammation.
Time. Yes, very, very, and she had a lot of water retention. And so she was seeing doctors and trying to understand how she could take care of it. And one of her doctors asked her to put an ACE Band-Aid her leg down every day. It's like a compression that you put in your legs, and that was supposed to take care of the problem. Plus, she was on diuretic medication. And when she would take that off, her leg was beautiful. But 2 hours later, it'll be back again, all swollen. And so she came to me. She worked only with me at this time. And she said, I don't know what else to do. I don't know. This is my situation. I feel brain fog. I have this problem in my legs. I feel tired all the time, can't sleep well. And so I started work with her. So she was asking, what do I do? So I have a program, a 90-day program.
I was going to ask you about the 90-day habit change program.
Yes, there's a 90-day habit change program.
So this is like a quicker start to what you need to do to get back on track.
This is what we do we meet once a week.
Okay, so is it on Zoom or is it in your office?
This could be on Zoom, but I did with her on the phone because she did from work. Her lunch time, we would take her lunch hours, and then we did on the phone. You can do that on the phone from my office, and she was in her office, and from the phone, we worked every week.
So you do stuff in person, you do stuff on Zoom, and you do on the phone your clients, depending on their needs. You tailor their needs to help them along to get back on track.
Exactly. And through this process, you learn how you chew, you learn how to deal with stress, you learn how you cope with obstacles, and how you manage that. And with that, she also decided to do 14-day detox with me. So her 14-day, just to give an idea, 14-day detox, she had already resolved her problem with being sluggish and tired.
Isn't that wonderful? That foggy
brain feel. She felt already energized. Just the 14-day. And then she decided, you know what? I'm going to stretch this 14 days all the way to the 90-day. Throughout the 90-day program. So she was on the detox throughout this whole time. And when she finished, she had resolved her problem with her.
What a great story.
Yes, with her legs being swollen.
Must make you feel really
It did, because I go, oh my goodness, you go from doctor diuretic pills, and it didn't help her at all.
Absolutely. So so you really did it in a natural way.
And
she's enjoying her life, I'm sure.
Exactly. And it's like that toolkit that I talk about, with this program. It's like every week you learn one skill, you practice throughout that week, you recognize how well that works for you, how you can implement that and learn how to use it.
What's a toolbox? Tell me what the toolbox. What is it? Things that you try? Is it foods that you try? Is it nutritional? What?
The
Explain that.
toolbox is the foods that work for you, because whatever works for me may not work for you. So to understand what is that, and she definitely had sensitivity with dairy and gluten. So she noticed how she feels. The gluten makes her have a brain fog right away.
Absolutely. So what other chronic conditions do you address as a certified health coach?
One of the things also that I help you with asthma. Actually, my first my first my first trial was with Ed, my husband.
Nothing
because
like a guinea pig husband. I love that.
That was amazing because it was all the time, twice a year, Christmas and the beginning of spring. He always went to the ER because of his asthma attack. And so I was already experiment myself. I had already make difference in my life. And so, you know what? And I took out of the house. I literally cleaned my refrigerator and my pantry. And I had this bunch of food. And he go, "What are you going to do with this?" I said, "I'm going to put it in the trash." He go, "No, you're going to give it away."
I'm going to eat it first. I'm going to eat it first.
No, I just took and I asked if someone wanted, whoever wanted it took, but I took out of my house.
That's wonderful. So tell me more about the chronic diseases that you're addressing at Essence for Wellness. Just in the time we have left, we have a couple of minutes.
So thyroid is one of them that we look into. Basically, anything, diabetes is another thing that you just keep taking medication, insulin, and never resolve. So typically, it'll be good to get in contact with us and understand. But most of the well-known chronic diseases, we will look at for you and try to understand how we can help with that.
I know we have so many things we could get into, and I will definitely have you come back and we will get into more details. And tell me, and we have like 30 seconds left, anything you would like our audience to know that we haven't touched upon?
Well, it is a beautiful journey when you really discover, what the things that you can do for yourself. It is an educational. This whole process is education, because you invest in learning things to work outside for your business, right? Just learn and educate on yourself. What can you do to make you a healthy and a brighter, lighter you? So yes, and visit us. Just stop by and we'll chat.
And that's essenceforwellness.com. You can get more information, or you can call them at 786-638-6699. And they are delightful people. Ed and Lucia are they're like home, and they're like family to me. I really enjoy them, and they're very welcoming, and they're both Brazilian, and they've got a lot of passion, and they have private parking, and you can go visit them, and sometimes you can get in, sometimes you can't get out. That's another story for another time. But it's really a great place in South Miami, Coral Gables area. And Lucia, thank you so much for making the time and joining me today on the Community Voice.
Thank you so much for having me.
And it's a beautiful journey. And thank you for giving me 30 minutes of the journey with our audience. And to you, thank you for watching. Stay well, stay healthy, stay safe. I'm Fara Sachs. See you next time.